Hello everybody, this is Tom from leanmusing.com coming back with the next in the Learning to See video series where we're talking about the 7 deadly waste. And this time we're going to be focusing on motion. Motion, which is the next letter in the Tim Wood acronym, or M, right? And motion is actually a very big deal in most factories. It's one of those things that get baked into a process that people don't realize is happening because it's part of their everyday routine, it's part of what they do, and some people even add it in because they want to get more exercise or whatever it might be. But we're going to talk about why motion is a problem. So again, let's start off with visualizing a work cell, right? And let's say we got an operator who is walking maybe 15 feet from one operation to a blow-off station, right? It's very popular in manufacturing. You have a blow-off station. Well, this blow-off station has to be on the other side of the work cell because that's where our dust collection piping is, and that's where our air line is hard piped to, right? So in this situation, if this guy is walking over there after every part he's doing, that can add up to be a big deal. Now, if he's only doing one part an hour, okay, yeah, you're not really talking much time, but ideally you still want to break it down as much as possible. But what if you're talking about a high volume or even relatively high volume operation? So, for instance, let's say this guy is working a part that he makes 60 of an hour. Okay, and it takes 10 seconds to walk the 15 feet back and forth. I think he could probably walk it faster, but let's make the math just easy for us to do. So if he's doing that 60 times in an hour, 60 times 10 seconds is 600 seconds, right? I mean, it's pretty basic. You got 600 seconds, and all of a sudden you're talking about 10 minutes per hour. Okay, 10 minutes per hour maybe doesn't seem that big of a deal at first glance, but what happens when you do 10 minutes an hour over the entire 8-hour shift? Well, now you're talking an hour and a third. Okay, well, still, maybe that doesn't sound like much to you. That's already sounding like a lot to me, but maybe for some reason you're not convinced quite yet. So an hour and a third on a 3-shift operation, now you're talking half a shift lost production because you're walking. And in a lot of cases it's always a simple solution where, well, we just had to move the dust collection pipe or the hood, or maybe we can mount it directly to the machine that the person is doing the work at, and the airline can be hard dropped somewhere else or soft dropped. I mean, it depends on your plant's requirements, of course, and I know the plants I've worked in have always preferred to do it hard piped, but either way, typically it's not that big of a deal to move an airline. And if you were to do the payback, I mean, it would pay itself off very quickly. I mean, within days. So it's something that you really need to think about. And just so you know, the 4 hours times, I'm going to do this right now while I'm doing this video, is 1,000 hours over the course of a year. So that makes it abundantly clear to me, and I'm sure to you, that you can get quite a bit more production by cutting out a very simple waste that happens very often. So obviously it's not always going to be that simple, and you're not always going to have a scenario like that, but I've seen them like that, and I'm sure that in the factories that I've worked in, there are probably many more opportunities than I even noticed. But that's the point of doing things like time observation and cycle time observation studies, where you really watch the person, you're timing what they do, and then you can break out those steps where they are walking further than they need to. And I know in a lot of the training that I've done for Kaizen events, there's an actual part of the training for cycle time observations that I'll do, or time observations, whatever you want to call them, is I'll actually do a little exercise where I get up from a chair, I walk to the board, I write something on the board, and I walk back, and we do that about 6 or 7 times. And then we talk about, all right, where did you see me do wrong? What notes did you take? And then we get into, how can we improve this process? And inevitably, everybody says, well, just move the chair closer. And that's my favorite part, because they say, move the chair closer. They don't say get rid of the chair at first. They say, no, move the chair closer. And then I actually act it out. And, you're standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down. And then they all realize real quick, oh, yeah, get rid of the chair. But I mean, when you look at it that way, right, and you're looking at someone else's process that you haven't lived with for years, it is glaringly obvious that you have a waste in your system that you can get rid of. Now, you add that up across your factory, say you got 30 people, say you got 300, it doesn't matter, right? Obviously, it's something that is exponential in how much time it can eat up. And I mean, really, that might be something that you end up having extra headcount for. It might be something that you lose production to on a regular basis. Maybe you're not meeting your on-time delivery requirements. I mean, all the plants I've ever worked in, before we started, we were really low OTD, anywhere from 40 to 60%, you know. And this type of stuff affects it. So you need to link these cells together. You need to get everything nice and close. You want to keep the operators working in that U-shaped cell if possible. If not, whatever. I mean, it's kind of situational, of course. And ideally, you want to keep that motion to a minimum. So I think I'll cut it off there for now. I'll probably beat that dead horse a little bit at the end, but I just wanted to make sure I was proving a point. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys do, what you found in your factories, and hopefully people can learn from your experience as well. I'll see you in the next video where we'll be talking about weighting. See you then.